Why, how now, monsieur? What a life is this that your poor friends must woo your company?
Ha!
Well, you look merrily.
A fool! A fool! I met a fool in the forest. A motley fool. Miserable world. As I do live by food, I met a fool who laid him down and basked him in the sun and railed on Lady Fortune in good terms, in good set terms, and yet a motley fool. Good morrow, fool, quoth I. No, sir, quoth he. Call me not fool till the heaven hath sent me fortune. And then he drew a dial from his poke, and, looking on it with lackluster eye, says very wisely, It is 10 o'clock. Thus we may see, quoth he, how the world wags. 'Tis but an hour ago since it was 9, and after 1 hour more 'twill be 11. And so, from hour to hour we ripe and ripe, and then from hour to hour we rot and rot, and thereby hangs a tale. When I did hear the motley fool thus marvel on the time, my lungs began to crow like Chanticleer, that fools should be so deep contemplative, and I did laugh. Sans intermission, an hour by his dial. Oh, noble fool, a worthy fool. Motley's the only wear.
What fool is this?
A worthy fool, one that hath been a courtier, and says, If ladies be but young and fair, they have the gift to know it. And in his brain, which is as dry as the remainder biscuit after a voyage, he hath strange places crammed with observation, the which he vents in mangled forms. Oh, that I were a fool! I am ambitious for a motley coat.
Thou shalt have one.
Ah, it is my only suit, provided that you weed your better judgments of all opinion that grows rank in them, that I am wise. I must have liberty withal, as large a charter as the wind to blow on whom I please. For so fools have, and they that are most galled with my folly, they most must laugh. And why, sir, must they so? The why is plain as way to parish church. He that fool doth very wisely hit, doth very foolishly, although he is smart, not to seem senseless of the bob, if not the wise man's folly is anatomized even by the squandering glances of the fool. Invest me in my motley. Give me leave to speak my mind, and I will through and through cleanse the foul body of the infected world, if they will patiently receive my medicine. Ha ha!
Fie on thee, I can tell thee what thou wouldst do.
What for, courtier? Would I do but good?
Most mischievous foul sin in chiding sin, for thou thyself have been a libertine, as sensual as the brutish sting itself, and all the embossed sores and headed evils that thou, with license of free foot, hast caught, wouldst thou disgorge into the general world.
Why, who cries out on pride that can therein tax any private party? Doth it not flow as hugely as the sea, till that the weary very means do ebb? What woman in the city do I name? When that I say the city woman bears the cost of princes on unworthy shoulders? Who can come in and say that I mean her, when such a one as she, such is her neighbor? Or what is he of basest function that says his bravery is not of my cost, thinking that I mean him, but therein suits his folly to the metal of my speech? There then, how then? What then? Let me see wherein my tongue hath wronged him. If it do him right, then he hath wronged himself. If he be free, why then my taxing like a wild goose flies unclaimed of any man. But who comes here? I thank you for your company, but, good faith, I had as lief have been myself alone.
And so had I, but yet for fashion's sake I thank you too for your society.
God be with you then. Let's meet as little as we can.
I do desire we may be better strangers.
I pray you, mar no more trees with writing love songs in their barks.
I pray you mar no more of my verses with reading them ill-favouredly.
Rosalind is your love's name?
Yes,
I
just.
do not like her name.
There was no thought of pleasing you when she was christened.
What stature is she of?
Just as high as my heart.
You are full of pretty answers. Have you not been acquainted with goldsmiths' wives and conned them out of rings?
Not so, but I answer you right painted cloth from whence you have studied your questions.
You have a nimble wit. I think 'twas made of Atalanta's heels. Will you sit down with me, and we two will rail against our mistress the world and all our misery.
I will chide no breather in the world but myself, against whom I know most faults.
The worst fault you have is to be in love.
'Tis a fault I would not change for your best virtue.
By my troth, I was seeking a fool when I found you.
No, he is drowned in the brook. Look but in, and you shall see him.
Oh, there's, I shall see my own figure.
Which I take to be either a fool or a cipher.
I'll tarry no longer with you. Farewell, good Signor Love.
I am glad of your departure. Adieu, good Monsieur Melancholy.